In this segment, we're going to show you how to generate a contract for your client. Also, I'm going to show you where that data is stored inside CaseWorks and how you can change that information. And then last but not least, email that same contract to your client. Well, we're going to deal with our Barney Rubble and Fred Flintstone case. And the first thing we want to do is generate a contract, or at least that's what we're going to do today. On the right hand side column under actions, there are a series of buttons, and one of them specifically says contract. So you will click on your contracts button, and then you'll be presented with the information that's going to appear on the invoice. And I'm going to point out a couple things to you. For example, the date's automatically put in the date of today, but you can change that. The case name, if the client has a reference number, it would have appeared here from the case profile. It's showing you what your default rate is. So basically all this information here is actually being extracted from the case information. The client signature block is Fred Flintstone because we're pulling it from him as a client. The address is also being extracted from the client information. The scope of work is being conducted from the case profile, and if we back up to take a look at the case profile here, you'll see that one of the things that we said we were going to do is conduct a 3-day surveillance. So if we go ahead and press back over to here to the contract itself, there's some boilerplate language down here is something that you're going to put into the system. Now this is the default, and all this information is being extracted from the utilities menu, and this information here can be modified very easily, and I want to show you where that's at. So if we click back onto the home page and click on to the utilities screen, then we're going to maneuver to the utility type here, and we are going to select correspondence letters. And so now we're going to look at all the utilities that are referenced to that, and here we have is that letter of agreement that we're using with our contract, and we can edit that information, and here's that information automatically flows into the contract itself. These kind of standard boilerplate, whatever you want to put in there, this is what will be your default. So I'm going to go ahead and cancel out of this and pop back over to our invoice, or should not our invoice, but over to our agreement, our contract, to generate that. And so now what we have here is all the information we want to pull. Anything on this screen will be generated to the agreement itself. So if I want to pull this information out, I can do that. So first thing you're going to do is create a draft by clicking on the draft button. And then what happens is the program shows you, CaseWorks is going to show you what that's going to look like. And here it puts your logo up there should you have one here, all the information you need, the address. It's showing the hourly rate and whatever language you put in here to include the scope of work right here. Now, if you are happy with this, then you're going to go ahead and want to fire us off to the client. Now, I do want to point out one thing down here. There's a signature block for Fred Flintstone to sign. So I'm going to go ahead and download this letter of agreement or contract, and really what I'm really saying is I'm going to actually email it to Fred at his location, plus there's a blind copy to myself. So simply all you got to do is smash this email report, and and then what you'll see is this form being sent to your client. If you want to take a look at the actual report itself, and you can click this download the report, and that's what it will look like in full copy. So all we have to do now at this point to email it to Fred is smash this report, and off of the races it goes, and that letter of agreement has now been sent to your client, plus it has also sent you a blind courtesy copy so you can take a look at it and to validate what's happened. And that concludes this segment.